relationship was with a girl named Cassidy. I feel very strongly about this, and I feel like it's okay for me to say her name because she's transgender now, so she's not Cassidy no longer. So I'm able to say her name because she's a once was person. Like, Cassidy is no longer here anymore, obviously. I'm not going to say his new name because we're talking about her. Transgender talk is too confusing, so we're just going to leave it as that. So her name was Cassidy, and it was first long distance, and I was living in Oklahoma for a bit of that time when it was long distance. By the way, she lived in Arizona, but when I first started talking to her, I was in California, but then I moved to Oklahoma, and I was going to Arizona for just a month to visit her. Like, we were in love, thoroughly in love. We were together for, I want to say, about a year and a half before I went there and like stayed with her for a month. So I was there for like 2 weeks, and I called my mom and I was like, oh my God, I miss you so much, because I was living with her and my grandma at the time. And on the phone, she told me, your grandma said you can't come back to Oklahoma. You can't come live with us. And I was like, what? Like, where do I go? I was really scared. I had literally nowhere to live. And Cassidy's mom was pissed because I think she knew right then and there she's going to have to take on, like, me. Because I had nowhere to go. I didn't have a job because I was in Arizona just for a month. So I didn't have a job. I didn't have anywhere to go. I had no car. I had nothing. And I just got done being in foster care. So I was like, oh my gosh, like, because being in foster care, like, you're very, like, taken care of in a sense, Like, they always make sure you have a roof over your head and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my God, I'm 18. I don't know what I'm going to do. And this whole thing. But Cassie's mom let me live there, and it was a very small apartment. I'm talking, like, I think it was, like, 450 square feet. There were, like, no doors. Cassidy and I ended up having to use the living room as our bedroom. It wasn't good, but I was so happy. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna live with my girlfriend. Like, we're so in love. It's like so amazing. And I felt blissful in a way, if that's the right word to use. Like, it just felt really good. We got along really well.
Everything in that video was such bull that I can't even describe the bullshit that was in that video. Can't even. Now, the time we were dating, when we started dating, I should say, I was 15 years old. 15 when we met. She's 2 years older than me. We were together from the time I was 15 to the time I was 18 years old. That is a pretty long time for a teenager. I mean, yeah, there's high school sweethearts, but that's a pretty long time. Now, when I first met her in person, it was in California. Because me and my mom went to California to visit my nana, and she lived in California, so she came and visited for a little bit. Which was cool. We had a good time, It was a good time. I was 15. So, we had a good time. Oh, no, I was 16. Sorry, because my birthday passed. Sorry. But I met her online at 15. I met her in person at 16. There you go. Well, we only stayed a week in California. We had to go back. And, well, I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, our relationship wasn't bad. We talked a little bit. It was pretty good. It was fine in the beginning. After meeting her, it was in July. After meeting her for the first time in July in California, she was going to come down for a month because I was going to take her to an anime convention. Stay a month, whatever. She was supposed to go back. Now, I never heard the conversation on the phone. But but this is one of the truths. One, her grandmother said she couldn't come back. I was 16 at the time. My mom was mad. We didn't have a lot of money. When she's talking about our small apartment, we didn't have a lot of money. We were poor. It didn't have a bedroom door. It was like a studio with like a wall, like breaking off living room and bedroom. But we didn't have money. I didn't grow up with money. So that's all we could afford. So she had a 16-year-old to raise. Plus, she was just getting into my mom was just getting into a new relationship. And then all of a sudden, there's someone else that's there that she needs to make sure to feed. Yeah, it made her mad. But I fought for Amber to be there because she didn't have nowhere to go. Now, it was because of me that she stayed. My mom didn't want to. But what was wrong is her mom didn't really stand up to her own mother. But, it was whatever. I fought for her to stay. I didn't want her to be homeless. It was, I felt that was the right thing to do.
I still remember the first time she ever got physical. We had a laundry room in the apartment complex we were living in, and we were walking to the laundry room, and I remember back then I would do our laundry for us. I didn't really like people touching my laundry. I still really don't, but I let Destiny do it because I trust her. But I had this weird thing with like people touching my laundry. Whatever. So she was helping me carry, I guess, laundry to the laundry room. I don't remember really what we were arguing about, but I know it must have been something really stupid, probably about the laundry, blah, blah, blah. And she was carrying her clothes, I'm pretty sure I remember, and I was like carrying mine. And then I want to say this happened, it's been like 6-7 years, so memories are kind of like fading here and there. But I do remember us being on the sidewalk, and I remember her dropping what was in her hands, and she took me by the throat, and she started yelling at me. I was like, what? And I think at the time, what shocked me the most was the fact that she was doing it in such a public place. Like, there was nobody around that I remember. And, like, I was, like, crying. Like, she literally was having me by the throat, just, like, screaming at me. And then, she let go, obviously. And I think I was so shocked and so numb to the situation that I kind of just let it be. She would randomly, like, pinch me if I made her really mad. And I didn't even think anything of that then either. Honestly, I didn't at all.
It was probably 3 months. 3-4 months after we started living together. We were up one night. I was watching something on TV, a music video, I believe. And I don't remember why we argued. I don't remember the argument. But she grabbed my arm with her nails. First time. Any physical that was negative. And I remember that clearly. It shocked me. It shocked me really, really bad. And it was just, I didn't know what to make of it, really. I'm 16 years old. I didn't know I knew what physical abuse was, but not really. So, I was a kid. I was a child. So I just assumed, okay, I made her mad. When I would get my mom mad, she'd spank me, or she'd get my ear, or the things a mom would do, a dad would do, behave, But so that shocked me, but nothing really happened a little while after that. So I was just whatever. Now the thing what she said with the laundry, that's a big false. Big false. Want to know how I know that? Because me and my mom would do her laundry. Me and my mom would go do laundry. She wasn't getting up to do laundry. She maybe did it a couple of times, a handful of times, probably counting on my one hand. She didn't do it all the time at all. And me dropping the bag and choking her, I never, ever did that. Ever. What's the reason for me to do that? I didn't do it. And I don't know where this story came from. I didn't do it at all.
Slowly, I stopped being, like, sexually attracted to her. I loved her, though. I know that. I don't know if it was, like, a best friend thing, but I stopped just feeling that, like, connection, I guess. So when it came to intimacy, I want to say about a little bit after like 2 years of being together, it started to dwindle. It was definitely my fault. This is when things got really bad. Ugh. I don't even know how to share this, but I'm gonna have to. Destiny knows all about this, by the way. Like, it's something like I really needed to let her know about me. Okay, so Cassidy was very sexually strived. Like, is that even a thing? I don't know. She really thought I was attractive. She really was sexually attracted to me, and she always wanted to, like, have sex. And I stopped feeling that for her. Like, I didn't tell her that. I would just, like, make up things like, oh, I don't feel good, or, oh, I'm on my period, like, even though I wasn't. And just little things like that. And it made her fucking pissed. When you say no to someone, whether you've been with them for like a month or whether you've been with them for like 6 years, if you say no to a sexual act, your partner should accept that. That is where I firmly stand. But she didn't. And she would literally sit there and beg me. At first, it was like cute little begs, like, oh, come on, baby, whatever. But then as time gradually went on, it became, you're gonna fucking touch me whether you like it or not. And I was like, you can't force me. And little did I know she can. That's when she started punching me a lot. She would aim for my belly. I don't think she ever actually hit me in the face. Her favorite spot was my stomach. She would punch me really hard in my stomach. She'd punch me like around right here a lot. She would punch me on my arms, and she would continuously do it until I agreed to make love to her or have sex, whatever you want to consider it. So not only was I being physically abused, but I was pretty much being like raped. That is what I consider it, because I continuously would say no to her. It was such like a bad mixture of everything.
The places she said about being hit, those were on me. Those were the exact places she hit me. I was the one being abused. And I will say this, I may have laid a hand on her a few times. That was in self-defense. I didn't do it, and I damn well did not rape her. I did not rape her. Period. One time, when my mom and Dave were out, I don't know why we argued, but I was put on the bed. She wailed on me. Beat me real bad. I remember this clear as day. Our bed was in the living room. Next to the bed was a dresser. In front of the dresser was a table. Between the table and the bed was her over me, wailing on me. Did I fight back? Nope, not that time. Why? Because she kept calling me an abuser. So I just took it. I took it. Then she took off outside to the bus stop. And I just laid there. Like, what just freaking happened? What just happened? I didn't even know. At that point, I was 17 years old. I didn't know what happened. I don't know what the argument was. I just know I got beat. I've gotten hit before. I went to school with bruises up and down my arms. Bruises. My friends asked me, what's wrong? What happened to you? Eventually, they figured it out. So every time I would come to school, upset, in tears, bruised down my arms, hands, cuts, scars. Amber again? Shrug. Didn't say anything. They figured it out. My mom figured it out later on, but I'd have to hide it from her. Why? Because I didn't want her mad. I didn't want her upset. I didn't want her to worry about me. She had so much other things to worry about. So I didn't say anything.
Like, not only was she hitting me because I wouldn't have sex with her, she was hitting me if I wouldn't do the dishes on time. She would push me up against counters. And One thing she never did was she never, like, called me names. Never. And I was, like, living in that, like, moment of sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me type of thing. Um, where it's like, okay, hitting people, blah, 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 but if, like, she started emotionally hurting me, then I should leave. I was just in a very unhealthy situation. Crystal, online, it just kind of fatefully happened. Like, I was not looking for a relationship. I was in a relationship. Me and Crystal became really good friends. And then I started realizing, like, Crystal is what I need in my life, not Cassidy. Cassidy is abusive. And not only is she abusive physically, but she's abusive, like, sexually. And that is not okay. And, I remember one time particular when, we weren't arguing about anything like sexual or whatever. I don't remember what the argument was. I know her mom was home. Her mom was in her room, a very small apartment, so we were, like, arguing in whispers, like, so she couldn't hear. But I'm pretty sure she got the gist of it because Cassidy started hitting me really hard. It was probably one of the worst ever. And I was kind of just, like, blocking myself, or at least trying to. And Cassidy's mom came in, and all she said is, "Cassidy, what are you doing?" And then walked away. The whole time I lived there, I really hoped there was a moment where Cassidy's mom would see. I thought maybe she'd be my hero and, like, somehow change the way Cassidy treated me. I thought maybe, her and I would become closer because she saw I was in an abusive relationship. Because me and Cassidy's mom.
Oh, another thing, she says that she tries to make herself look good. Honestly, when we were first dating, I got a message from her, upset. She made out with a girl while we were dating, while she was still in California. 3 times. Did I get mad? I got upset, but I was 15. So what am I going to do? Forgive, forget, you're my girlfriend. I was a child. Yeah, I was dumb. I admit that fully. Being with her, as long as I was so dumb. So dumb. Another thing, she says that she made friends with Crystal. She wasn't looking for anything. Let me clear up some things for you between that time frame. Before Crystal, there was another girl. While she was with me. Her name was Paige or something. I know it was a 4-letter name. That Paige girl, I'm just going to call her Paige because that's the name I remember. That Paige girl sent her money, sent her a Walmart gift card. She sent her things. Yeah, while she was with me. And why did she send her things? Because she made me out to be a monster. Made me look like a monster. So she thought she had to play superhero and save Amber when she didn't even know what the hell was going on. At all. Well, not one bit. And then I forgot why her and Paige broke up. Not really broke up, but, like, stopped talking. I think Paige got tired, honestly. And then she met Crystal. Now, she was talking to Crystal about 6 or 7 months before we broke up. No, actually, probably longer than that. Probably almost a year. Talking to her almost a year before me and her broke up. Me and Amber broke up in 2011. So while Crystal was talking, Crystal bought her so many things while we were together. So many things. I mean, the one that stands out, because it's the most messed up one, most messed up memory, was the freaking iPod Touch. The 2nd generation one. God, I can't believe how far I come. But anyway, that's a different story. She was on the phone with her. And, like, there was an argument starting. And I'm just like, what? Like, what the hell's wrong? So she goes outside talking to her. Comes in. Oh, I made her cry. What happened? What made her cry? What the hell? And she was telling me how Crystal was going to buy her an iPod Touch. And the argument was over how much gigabytes it had. Seriously, she was going to buy her a pretty low gigabyte one at 4.8, the standard gigabyte. And she got mad because Crystal asked, do you want this certain gigabyte or the 32 one, the highest one? And she told Crystal, asking me that is like asking if you want a pink purse. She was so rude about that. It wasn't just, she went off after saying the pink purse thing. She went off on this poor girl and made her cry because Crystal asked a simple question. Do you want this X amount of gigs or the highest one? And Amber was so disrespectful about it. Crystal cried. She bought her it was over $200. Over $200 this girl is spending on Amber. That's not even with her yet. And she's like that.
I think what drew the line with me and Cassidy was her and her mom. This was like one of the worst nights in the world. Like, I can't even. Okay, Cassidy was mad about something. She pushed me up against the counter. She got a knife and was throwing it in my face and saying she was gonna stab me. I was like, yeah, right. Like, and then she started really hitting me, like, in my chest and kind of like in my boobs. And Cassidy's mom came out and blamed it all on me. And then Cassidy's mom threw this like big clear ashtray right to my head. It hurt so bad. And in that moment, I was like, why am I here? What am I doing? For a little bit there, I kind of felt like I was trapped in a cage. I loved this girl, but I didn't love her right. Everything about it was unhealthy. It is so hard to describe.
And the thing about my mom throwing a glass ashtray at her head? No. She was very disrespectful to my mom. She threw a glass cup at my mom. It shattered on the wall. There was still a hole mark when they moved out because of that. Because of that. She was very disrespectful to my mom. My mom never did any of that. Ever. She never laid a hand on Amber. She would get mad and yell because of how disrespectful she was being, but she never laid a hand on Amber. Ever. Never.
If you guys are wondering, yes, she is now a he, and it's been a long time. 6 years since I was with her, and we talk on Facebook here and there, and things are very different, and she regrets everything she did